Hey, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner, and any of those that you want to call me, you can. This will be a get ready with me where, as you can see from the title, I'm using all new makeup products from 2024. Not necessarily they came out in 2024, but this is everything that I have bought in the year so far, and I thought right now would be a really good time to do this video because I am currently on a brief no buy because of my low buy, and I'm like way deep in the negative, blah blah blah. I will link my beauty bank playlist down below, and I'll also link my get ready with me playlist down below if you want to catch up on my other ones. Oh, but before I get started, I noticed there's like some weird, like, it looks like something is oozing and dripping from my painting here. I've never seen that before, or I never noticed that before. Hopefully that hasn't been all of my videos. I think it's just because I changed the way I angled my light. But basically nothing is oozing out of this painting behind me. This is just the really crappy DIY paint job that my property manager did before I moved into this place in 2022. If you've ever rented an apartment, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's not anything disgusting, I promise. The stories I could tell you about this apartment, but I'm just gonna get into it so I stop wasting time. I'm going to start with primer, and I'm actually going to use something from my Westman Atelier Clean Glow Trio 2, and this is just if you saw my like beauty bank video for February, you would have seen this, but this is just like a face stick trio. I'm actually going to use the highlight, which is called Brulee, and it looks like this. I'm going to use this as my face primer. Actually, this is what it looks like swatched, and even though like it does have a bit of shimmer, it like when I use it as a face primer, I'll just like get started with this. When I use it as a highlighter, it's one of those glossy ones that first of all doesn't dry down, and I don't really like that, and then it also doesn't even really show up too much. So I think this is such a weird sensation, but I'm gonna try using it as a face primer. I might regret this, but this is my first time using it on my face, like in an actual makeup look, so I don't really know what it's gonna look like too much. That's probably enough. I probably put way too much. I'm gonna use my like cream bronzer stick, and hopefully this works out okay. I feel very weird doing this, but basically I'm using this as my primer because I haven't bought any primers this year, and I wanted to try to not only use only things that I've bought this year as much as possible, but also I have like doubles of a bunch of different things. I basically am trying to use things in different ways so that I can showcase as much of my products in this video as possible. And yeah, there's the base. It does feel like kind of like, it feels oily, more oily than sticky, which is kind of an odd sensation. It could also be because I just put on my skincare and I was using a face oil as one of my steps, but I don't know. I think that looks nice, at least right now. It should be what I was envisioning when I decided to use this as a primer, was that it was going to be kind of like, since it is a glowy product, maybe a little bit like a glowy primer, like a flawless filter type thing. This like thing in the background is distracting me, I'm sorry. But that is this stick, and then the bronzer and blush that I'm using are also from this trio. So for my bronzer, I have the shade Truffle, and I'm using my phone camera as my mirror, so this might turn out kind of terrible, I don't know. I'm gonna actually use a mirror to blend this out because I decided I don't want to look crazy. I do actually have somewhere to be after this, and I'm gonna use this Pat McGrath Labs face palette for the mirror, and I actually have not taken off the cover for the mirror yet, so let's do this on camera. Was that satisfying for you? I don't know, but I'm gonna blend this in and see how this works. I feel like this is definitely a lighter bronzer, which is just fine for me. Like, I don't need all my bronzers to be like super opaque. And also I think because I did put on that highlighter as a primer, it probably is like making it a little bit more sheer than it usually might be. I'm gonna do a second layer of this just so that it shows up a little better, because I am gonna be putting my powder foundation on top of this. So I would like it to at least show up a tiny bit once I do that. There's a jet going by. I'm kind of liking this. I feel like, I mean, I usually prefer powder bronzers because I feel like they're easy to work with, but I've been using cream bronzers so much lately, and like cream contours, because I'm panning them in my, just in like different projects. So I'm getting used to them a little bit more. I still do prefer powder, but I think like for a cream product, this is really nice and I like that. So the last shade always makes me laugh. It's the blush shade and it's called Doo Doo. Please, if you also think that's funny, please leave a comment, because I feel like such a child every time I say that. Makes me laugh, but it's just true. This is what it looks like. It's a really pretty shade. It's my favorite shade in this trio, and this one is actually pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna start light with it. I'm using my blush brush. So oh, this is so nice, especially for spring. I feel like this is a really pretty spring color. But let me get into the things that I actually wanted to talk about. So I asked on my YouTube community tab, I'm gonna add a little more blush. I asked on my YouTube community tab and on my Instagram stories if anyone had any questions for me, because I wanted to give people the chance to do like a Q&A with me, and literally only one person asked me a question, which is fine. So I just thought, instead of doing it in the palette bingo video that I was planning on doing it in, I'll just answer it now since I'm filming this one first and I only had one question. There's no point in like doing a dedicated video for it. But the question I got, and I'll like put a screenshot of the question on the screen, was from Linda Parada. I can't remember her like YouTube username, but she asked how old I am and what state I'm from. So that's really pretty. Okay, I'm liking where it is now. I'm gonna stop for now. I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Concealer, and this is in the shade, it doesn't say. Okay, sorry. But I did take the stopper out, so it's like completely coated and goopy. So I'm gonna be very careful with this. I am 26. Oh, that was a lot. I will be 27 next month. So I'm getting up there in age. And I live currently in California, but I'm originally from Minnesota. If you couldn't tell, I talk about Minnesota all the time. But I live in California right now. I have since I was 8 years old, but I do go back to Minnesota all the time. I kind of like, whenever someone asks me where I'm from, I just mention Minnesota and California, because even though I really am from Minnesota and that will always be my hometown, that's where the people I love most in the world, a lot of them still are there. But I have lived in California for most of my life. Oh, I just looked in the camera and I look so crazy right now. Okay, let me blend some of this concealer away. But yeah, I have lived in California for most of my life, Southern California specifically. So even though I consider Minnesota to be my true home, this is like my second home. I think even if I left California, which honestly I wouldn't say is unlikely, because even though this is a beautiful state, it's so expensive and it's so hard to find a job here. So I could potentially end up leaving sometime soon, maybe. but I will always consider California to be my second home. So that was a really long explanation for just one simple question, but I am 26, almost 27, and I'm from Minnesota, but I've lived in California most of my life. So thank you, Linda, for asking that question. If anyone else has any other questions, you can definitely ask me, and if I do get any, I doubt I will because no one asked in the first place, but if I do get any other questions, I will answer them in my next Get Ready With Me, which I'm filming next week, I promise. But yeah, you can always ask me something and I will answer it in the palette bingo video. But that's it for like my base products. Now I'm just gonna put my powder on top, which is technically a powder foundation, but it's really light. And I do have like a lot more face products. Like I have an entire other face palette. I have other blushes that I couldn't even fit into this video because I just have so much. So not everything that I've bought this year will be in this video. I kind of just chose things that would be easiest to like make work with the other products that I'm using in this video. But for my powder, I'm using my L'Oreal True Match in the shade W5. You've seen this in plenty of my other videos because this is what I've mostly been using this year. But I'm just gonna put this on top of my entire face. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I can already start to see the like ridges from the bottom of the pan, so that's exciting. And sorry if you can hear the fan in the background and that jet in the background. It's getting like warmer and warmer in Southern California every single day, and I needed to have a fan on me to film this video because if not, I would have just immediately sweat off all of my makeup. I'm a sweaty person. Sorry if that's ew. All of my videos have some ew factor in them, unfortunately. I'm kind of like running around. I have somewhere to be like immediately after I film this. I'm getting a pedicure before I go out of town, so I've just been like rushing and it's making me sweat a lot. You didn't ask to hear that. Why am I saying that? But that's the powder. I really like it, and I love the look that I get from underpainting, especially blush. Blush, I would say, is the one product that I would say I prefer as a cream product because I love to underpaint with blush. It's my favorite way to wear blush. I still have a lot of powder blushes and I love them all. I wouldn't get rid of them, but I love underpainting blush, and obviously you need a cream to do that. So the next thing I will do is my eyes. So I don't have like a new eye base, so I'm just using my same Milani eyeshadow primer and NYX glitter primer that I've always used. So I'll just use my camera to put this on. Yeah, that thing on my wall is really distracting me. I'm gonna have to do something about that. This apartment is just like so raggedy. It's still better than my last apartment because that place was just like a crap hole. It was really old and the landlord never ever fixed it. But this one, like, so this apartment is still a step up, don't get me wrong. I would prefer to be here than my last place, but I don't know, just the paint job was horrible. There's literally right next to me, like it's just cut off from the bottom of the frame, but there's a hole in my wall, an actual hole in my wall that's been there since I moved in. Because when I was moving into my bedroom, I noticed there was a piece of tape on the wall, so I just pulled the little piece of tape off and it took off the wall because the tape just was the wall. What my property manager did when they were painting this apartment before I moved in is there was a hole in the wall from the previous tenant, and they literally just put a piece of scotch tape on top of the hole and painted over it and called it a day. So now I've had a hole in my wall since I moved in. That's how raggedy this place is. For my eyes, I'm actually using a face palette. This is my Pat McGrath Labs face palette from the Bijou Brilliance collection. This is what I was using as my mirror. And this is the Divine Blush Bronze and Glow Trio in the shade Nirvana and Bloom, the medium shade. And I am literally just gonna use these as my eyeshadow. And I was actually talking to one of my viewers about potentially potentially using this highlighter as an eyeshadow instead of a highlighter, because first of all, look at that. It is so like glowy, but it's like, so it would be way too intense for me, but it's also glittery. When you like blend it out, you can just see chunks of glitter, which is really pretty if you're trying to do like a certain type of look. But for every day, you can kind of see the glitter a little bit better there. For every day, I wouldn't really like that, so I think I'm gonna use that like as the shimmer on my eyelids. I think I'll actually use the bronzer. I was thinking maybe I'd do like a pink monochromatic look, but I think I'm gonna take the bronzer just right on top of the eyeshadow primer. Let's see how this looks. And I'm using like a really fluffy blending brush so I don't get too much product, because I don't know how this is gonna work. This isn't even meant to be eyeshadow, but it is going on really nice. Pat McGrath's formula, her like bronzer formula, is really smooth, so this is turning out to be like really nice and silky on my eye. I guess since I have like no questions to answer, I'll just talk about my books that I've been reading. I'll just update you on some of them. So I did finish that book called Empty, about like the dwindling fossil fuels, and it is as good as I remember. Like, it's such a good book. The ending was hopeful. Like, I don't want to spoil it in case you do want to read it. It's called Empty by Suzanne Wayne, and I don't know if you can get it in hard copy. I think it's just an ebook, but basically it was a nice hopeful ending. It wasn't necessarily like a happy ending, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, if we implement these techniques, then we could save the world. Not like in a cheesy little kid way, but you know, it was kind of like that. The sad thing is currently the world is not doing that, so I'm a little bit worried. Also, my eyes are watering because the fan is hitting me directly in the eye, and I have to keep my eyes open since I'm doing my eyeshadow. So hopefully that doesn't mess up my eye look, but I'm gonna put my glitter primer on now. And what I'm reading now, I'm like reading multiple things, but what I'm reading now is like in addition to the regular book I'm reading, is called The Greatest Love Stories in History, something like that. I'll put the title on the screen, but basically it's just a book of like different love letters written throughout history, like real love letters. And I'm about to put the pink shimmer on my lids. Ooh, that's really pretty. Oh, I like that. That is so pretty. It looks kind of like an eyeshadow topper because it's not super like, it doesn't have, I think that must have been like a freight truck or something. It doesn't have a ton of base pigment, or like the base pigment isn't super dark, so it kind of looks like an eyeshadow topper, and that is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that I tried this. Yeah, that was well worth it. That is so pretty. Okay, but anyway, back to the book. It is just like such a nice book. I love like reading about it. I'm putting it in my inner corner now. And I love poetry too, and like especially love poems. They're my favorite. So I'm having fun reading that right now. I'm still reading Bruiser because that kind of got left in my travel bag. I didn't finish it while I was away, and then when I came back, I kind of like didn't even unpack because I knew I'd be like using my suitcase again in a few weeks. So that's just been sitting in my travel bag, but I'm gonna bring it with me on my next trip that I'm taking. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I'm gonna bring that with me. Hopefully I'll finish it while I'm there. I think I'll stop there with the eyeshadow. It's really pretty as it is. I'm sure adding the pink, like the blush, would make it look nice too, but I'm really happy with where it is now, so I'm gonna leave well enough alone. And then I'm gonna put on this mascara. This is a mascara that I repurchased time and time again. It's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise in the shade Black Brown. But I did buy this tube this year, so I'm counting it. I'm not gonna use eyeliner because I haven't bought any eyeliner so far this year, and of course I just got mascara on my eyelid. Anyway, I'm gonna try to forget I did that so I don't get annoyed with myself, but ugh, the fan is really blowing in my eye right now. I don't think this look needs eyeliner anyway, so that's what that looks like with mascara now. And I'm gonna do my eyebrows, but I only have I don't have anything new for that, so I'm gonna use my Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt Gel and then my Milani brow pen, and I'm gonna do that off camera as well, because you don't really need to see that, do you? But then I'll come back and do my lips. That's the brows done, so now I'm just gonna do lips, and I didn't have any new lipsticks or lip glosses, so I just thought I'd use my Tony Moly lip balm. Technically I don't even count this as makeup because even though it does have a little bit of a tint, it's like a pink tint on my lips. There goes another jet. I kind of collect these Tony Moly lip balms. Every time I see one, I buy one. The ones that look like little fruits. So I just don't even count these as makeup, and I wouldn't. This is the only one that's tinted anyway, so I wouldn't really be able to count them as makeup. But I'm just gonna use this as my lip product for this video since I did buy it this year, and I'll show you the pink tint that it has. So as you can see, it barely shows up pink. It's really pretty though, and it does have a generic fruit scent, you know, that generic fake fruit scent that they put in all different types of cosmetics, but it doesn't actually smell specifically like blueberries. I don't even really know what blueberries would smell like, to be honest. But that's the whole look. I really need to leave for my pedicure right now because the place I go to is where I used to live across town. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I was at least a little bit entertaining. I really like the way this look came out. Even when I look at it in the mirror, I think it looks nice and just glowy enough to give myself there's kids outside. It's just glowy enough to give myself a natural radiant finish, kind of it looks like it's just my skin. So I think that combination of the highlighting stick with this powder gives a really nice look. I'll probably end up doing that in the future too. But yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I will film my palette bingo get ready with me next week as soon as I come back from my trip. I promise. Things have just been so crazy. I'll talk about it when I get back, but things have been so crazy busy. I'm super behind on filming, but I will just have to see you in that video, and I'm sure I'll film something else later today, so I'll probably see you tomorrow in another video. But until then, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.